Okay, so I left off where I was saying that my sister, Lifewithtashanna, has a page over there, and she's got so many stories about how my mom was dealing with the married man and how she got 3 kids from him, and I'm one of the kids that came along in that marriage. But like I said, she got a whole video, a whole bunch of stuff over there that you guys will definitely love. So just go and check out her page. So my son ended up I stopped allowing him to I stopped allowing the crackhead to watch my son. So I started letting him go over to my sister's house. I asked her, is it okay if he go over there, when I get off work or whatever? I had no inkling that he was making him dress into different clothes to make him look homeless and have him asking people for money. I just felt like because he treated me the way he treated me, I assumed that he was doing the same to my son, but he really wasn't. That was just one of the things that he was doing to my son, other than, doing the things that he does to me in front of him, But so those times that my son was going over and, at my sister's house or whatnot, he was sharing things with her too, and it drew up some concern for her. So my sister, I came to pick him up one day, and she was just like, I'm just gonna let you know, go and see her page, because she'll do a reaction video to this video, and she'll tell her side of the story, and she can break it down as into what she said, how she reacted with things, and she can tell you exactly what my son said to her to put her in the place that she had got herself into when she told me that you can do whatever you want to do, but your son, my nephew, gonna stay here with me until you get yourself together, because the things that he's expressing to her obviously doesn't sit right in her gut. So one thing, anybody who knows my sister Lifewithtashanna, we know she don't play about those kids. She'll play with a lot of stuff, but them kids ain't one of them. I'm telling you, I done seen her. She got stories over there. I don't want to tell her story. I'll let her tell her own story, but I'm just trying to show you how deep it goes for a kid. She don't play about kids. She's been through a lot when she was a kid. So if she see a child being mistreated, she is definitely gonna step in. She don't gotta know who you is. She gonna step in for those kids. Her main concern is for the kids. It was no longer about me. It was about my nephew. Now that he's drawn up a concern for her, she like, listen, if you want to go back, you can go back, but he gonna stay here. He don't want to go back with you. He wants to go back with you, but he don't want to go back with you if he's gonna be there. Now at this point, you know what I'm saying, I am broken inside that my son don't want to come home with his mama, but I had to think about, why don't he want to come home? What's stopping him from wanting to come home? The environment that he's in. We're always fussing, fighting, something crazy, chaotic always going on or whatever. Who wants to be around that all the time? Nobody does. That's why I say my son is a different breed. My son was trying to reach out and get us help. Not himself just help. He was trying to get his mama help. Because mama was too blind and mama was too gone. And just, I was in that place where it was a tough place for me to be, because here I am, I'm working the 2 jobs or whatever. It would be so easy to just say, you could have just walked away. I could have, but this one here wasn't just an easy, okay, I'm done, it's over with, let's go our separate ways, this, that, and the third. No, not with this guy. No, it ain't gonna work like that. I'm gonna have to fight to get out of this relationship. That's what it took. It took the fight to get out of that relationship. So when I was tired and ready to get out of it, it still wasn't that easy, but I got out of it. If I'd have put in and got fed up with the things that I was fed up with in the end, it probably would have happened a lot faster. But I ain't gonna go too deep in the story. Let's stay on track. So when she told me he didn't want to come home, that broke me inside, because I have not been without my child. I've always had my baby with me. So being without him at nighttime was the only time that I did not have him. It was because he could spend all day with me or whatever, but when it comes to bedtime, he got to go to my sister's house or whatnot. So I still was being a mom. I agreed for him to stay there. I missed that part. I did agree for him to go ahead and stay with my sister. I really didn't have a choice, but I let it happen. It hurt me inside, but it also gave me a little bit of comfort, because I didn't want to leave him with him anymore anyway. So for her to say that she'll keep him, that gave me a sense of peace. That didn't give me the place to say, oh, well, she can just keep my child. No, it wasn't like that. I still was a mom to my son. She took him to school. I picked him up after school. Me and him hung out for as long as I wanted to hang out with him. I did his homework with him. Everything still went on regular. It's just that when it was time for bed, he went and stayed at my sister's house. How did I feel being over there with that man and my son at my sister's house? I was sick, but I made sure I seen my baby. I should have made a better choice. I should have just walked away from him, but I didn't. I didn't walk away from him, and so, but that pushed me to get my stuff together so that way I could get my son back. I think he stayed with her for about, I want to say a month. He probably stayed there shorter than that, but I want to say a month. So what I did, I had to go inside and figure out what it is that I want to do. So, I'm like, I'm talking to him and I'm just like, listen, if you can't pull yourself together, then I'm going to have to go or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Still leaving the choice on him, you could say, or whatever, because I still wanted him and I wanted my baby. But I need you to pull yourself together so I can get my baby back. You know what I'm saying? And so he did. He shaped up for a little while, but then you already know how it is. Once the drugs get in your system, he don't have control no more. So, and when he wasn't on them, he was just sleeping. So, I mean, that was probably the best part of the situation, was him sleeping, but still, it was like he was a zombie, or he wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? But at this point, I feel stuck where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So, got my son back, and he continued staying, at my sister's house when he get out of school, and I go and pick him up after school or whatnot. And so, yeah, it was just that bad that my sister had to come and grab him from me. And it wasn't like it was a favor that she was doing me. No, she meant business. My nephew is not going to sit here and go through these things. And she was right. I can't be mad at nobody who is telling the truth. I wasn't mad at my son for telling the school. I wasn't mad at my son for telling his auntie. I wasn't mad at him for anything, because this was not his problem. But I didn't know how big of a problem I was causing on my son. He about 10 or 11 years old. Feeling whatever he feeling at the time, scared and terrified that this man might do something to my mama. But my mama won't leave him. She's still with him. And I know when he came back with me and he seen that he was still in my life, I know that made my son mad. I know that made him so mad. And he expressed that to me as he got older. We talk about this thing all the time. And so another important thing I want to put out there is that our kids go through the toxicity that we go through just as well. They get affected by it. No matter what their age is, if they're able to comprehend things, they are being affected by the situation just as well as you are. And so knowing that me and my son has been through a lot, let me take that back. Knowing that I put my son and myself through a lot, I check on my son right now to this day. He is 18 years old, and I still, just ask him how you feeling about things. Are you okay? What else? I just check on him because I know he was affected by these things. And even when I was going through those things, y'all, I was still telling my son the right and proper way to handle things. If me and him would get into a fight, I'm like, son, this is not the way you handle things. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want him to take those things with him when he got older and think that that's how you're supposed to be in a relationship with somebody. Because it's not. It's not healthy. It's not good at all. You know what I'm saying? That puts you in a bad place. But what I did tell my son is that by all means protect yourself. But that don't mean you go around beating up people, beating up on women and stuff like that. But if somebody is trying to hurt you, you defend yourself. That's all I told him, you know what I'm saying? But I just can't help but to think that, them demons be hiding out, and sometimes they'll rear their head when they want to. Not saying that I would think my son would ever do any of those things at all, but because he's seen them doesn't make him blind to it, or just for him to even recognize it in his own relationships and stuff like that. So I talk to him and I try to make sure that he is okay mentally with the situation, and I let him speak freely about how he felt about things when it was going on, just so I know, because I wasn't the only one being affected by it. And I know he's seen a whole lot, he heard a whole lot, he's seen things I didn't even see. So I just check on him from time to time to make sure that he's okay, because I know I put him through a lot, had him in positions to be scared for his mom's life, and you just got to think about all that stuff. So when you dating for you, you're not dating just for yourself, you're dating for you and your kids. However many you got, you dating for them too. You got to make a good decision on who we putting in our lives in front of our kids. Because kids are sponges. Their minds are like sponges. They soak up everything. And they're learning from us. We're their first teachers. So, to be continued. Like I said, I want you guys to go over there and check out Life with Tashanna. Awesome page. That is my oldest sister. And when I say my sister in these videos, that's who I'm talking about. Now, she will do a reaction video over on her page. That way you can hear her side of the story and where she stood at in the situation and the conversation her and my son had, or whatever she want to put her input on the video. Go over to Life with Tashanna to get the other part of this story. Y'all have a great day. I love you guys. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. And y'all know I'm going to have another video for you. So y'all stay tuned. Have a great day.